Imagine working hard all week, eagerly looking forward to Saturday, which is your much-needed day of relaxation and indulgence. But just as you start to unwind, your exuberant friend interrupts your peace with news of an upcoming party. However, the mere thought of spending your precious Saturday at a party fails to spark any interest in you. But if you think about it, have you ever really enjoyed the company of others? If not, have you ever stopped to think why? Let's be clear. Socializing is supposed to be fun and uplifting. It's even good for our overall well-being. We humans are social creatures, and we thrive physically and mentally through human interaction. That's why we put so much effort into connecting with others, making friends, and building meaningful relationships. It's also why the world is filled with experiences designed to bring us together. Just think about the people who flock to bustling city streets or join crowds shoulder to shoulder in festivals and auditoriums. Every day, millions of people willingly immerse themselves in these vibrant social environments. But here's the thing. Not everyone seeks or enjoys the same experiences. What's also interesting is that a surprising number of people prefer solitude. Well, the reality is that our ability to connect with others is a crucial skill for success. And if we don't understand why social activities sometimes leave us feeling drained, we risk hindering our own happiness in relationships and other aspects of our lives. That's why today, we're going to dive deep into the underlying motivations behind why there are people like you who don't really enjoy socializing. In this video, we'll explore the 12 most common reasons why there are those who don't fully embrace the art of social interactions. Starting with number 1. You find social obligations boring. Not everyone avoids socializing for some deeply personal reason, you know? Many people just don't enjoy spending time with others because they find it dull. They feel like they're going through the motions of the usual social routines and engaging in small talk, which can be monotonous. It feels like a waste of time and energy to them, so they don't bother trying. However, it's important to note that this isn't always the case. There are plenty of valid reasons to connect with others on a deeper, more meaningful level. Building strong relationships and fostering genuine connections can bring joy, support, and a sense of belonging. But if you're not currently making satisfying connections, it's totally understandable to feel like saving your breath and focusing on other aspects of life. Number 2. You're experiencing social burnout. Sometimes, you just don't feel like socializing, right? Your current state of mind might not be up for it. Or maybe work and other commitments have left you drained and overwhelmed, and all you want is some alone time. We all go through periods like this when we prefer seclusion and enjoying our favorite activities in peace. Why immerse yourself in the hustle and bustle when you enjoy the silence, right? If this sounds familiar, you might be experiencing a form of social burnout. But don't worry, it's just a temporary phase. After some quality alone time, you'll feel refreshed and ready to reconnect with the world. Number 3. You feel isolated because of how you think. You know, not everyone chooses to be solitary. Take highly intelligent individuals, for example. They often feel isolated because their way of thinking and perceiving the world is unique. It's not that they don't want social connections, it's just that their ideas are rarely understood or appreciated, and their interests are often dismissed. And they'd rather not go through all that. So, if you're not really into socializing, it could be because of your high intelligence. Maybe your mind works in a different way compared to those around you, which can make social situations feel incredibly lonely and frustrating to you. Number 4. Due to trauma. A lot of people develop antisocial habits because they hold on to negative experiences from the past. Maybe they were in a toxic relationship where their friend or partner always made them feel unworthy. Or maybe they trusted someone, let their guard down, but got taken advantage of, and that caused them a lot of pain. These bad experiences can mess with how we see future social interactions, making us expect more of the same negativity in our interactions. But it's important to remember that every connection is a chance for a fresh start, as long as we're open to moving forward. Number 5. You're an introvert. Your social preferences are a big part of who you are. For introverts, big social events can be exhausting. They have limited energy for social commitments and often need some alone time to recharge. When introverts do interact with others, they usually prefer smaller groups or one-on-one conversations. Those are where they can really dive into meaningful and personal topics. So, if you're not really into socializing, it could just be a reflection of your natural disposition. And guess what? You're not alone. It's fascinating to think that around 25% to 40% of people have introverted traits. Number 6. You think you need to please people, which stresses you out. Some people aren't really into socializing because it can be quite a hassle, you know? They're always feeling like they have to go out of their way to please others. They want everyone to be happy, even if it means they have to give up their own stuff. These folks, or should I say people pleasers, have a love-hate thing going on with their social lives. They genuinely care about making others happy, but actually spending time with them can make them feel overwhelmed. Perhaps you're the same. And if you're not able to set healthy boundaries, interacting with others might feel more like a burden to you than something enjoyable. Number 7. You're hanging out with the wrong people. Sometimes, the real reason why you don't really enjoy being around people may not even be about your social preferences. Rather, you might have developed these solitary habits because you're hanging out with the wrong crowd. For instance, certain friend groups can turn toxic and oppressive, forming this toxic pack mentality. They force everyone to conform to their ideas, and anyone who thinks differently gets penalized. Maybe you're dealing with such a group, and it's like you're trapped with them, so you'd rather avoid them whenever you can. Unfortunately, people get stuck in these toxic packs for a long time. So if you feel like you're in a toxic friend group, maybe it's time to see what else is out there. Number 8. You actually have social anxiety. For many people, social discomfort is something they deal with on a daily basis. You know, that feeling of unease or awkwardness in social situations? Well, some folks experience it to a whole other level, and it's called social anxiety. This condition affects about 5–10% of people worldwide, and it can make even the most mundane social experiences feel like a big deal. Imagine walking into a room and feeling like everyone's eyes are on you. There's a constant worry of embarrassing yourself or feeling insecure when people glance your way. The socially anxious constantly feel that way. And these feelings can really stress them out and make them hesitant to try new things, including talking to people. So, if you find yourself consistently uncomfortable around others, you might be exhibiting signs of social anxiety. Number 9. You feel like no one understands you. Sometimes, you might find yourself not really enjoying socializing because you simply don't feel that deep connection with others. It's like whenever someone enters the room, you instantly feel this sense of being out of place. And this feeling makes it challenging for you to be your authentic self and express your true thoughts, which in turn discourages you from engaging with people in the future. There could be various reasons for this. Maybe you fear standing out or being misunderstood by others. Or perhaps you hesitate to open up because you feel that others don't truly grasp who you are and how you want to be understood. Number 10. Your expectations are quite unrealistic. Our expectations of others have a huge impact on our social lives. Just think about that person you know who expects every social experience to be amazing. They want every party to be legendary and every friendship to last forever. So they walk into every room with sky-high expectations. But more often than not, they end up feeling let down, right? It's because their expectations are just too high. And it sets them up for disappointment. But on the other hand, having low expectations can be just as bad. If you assume that every connection is going to fall apart, you're pretty much guaranteeing a negative outcome. And if dealing with that disappointment becomes too much, you might even decide that being alone is better. Number 11. You feel like you have to be in control. Many people struggle with letting go of control in their lives. They want to be aware of what's happening around them, predict outcomes, and be prepared for anything that could go wrong. But in social situations, there are so many variables that are out of your control, right? For instance, you don't know what people will say or how they will respond to you. You also don't know how they will behave as you interact and what happens when you end the conversation. That lack of predictability is why some people choose to spend very little time with others. They rarely step out of their comfort zones because they're afraid of the unknown. Instead, they stick to what they know. This way, they remain in control of the situation. Number 12. You experience heightened sensitivity. Engaging in social activities provides a wealth of mental and physical stimulation. Just think about it. Even a simple conversation involves processing and retaining so much information. You have to pay attention to verbal and nonverbal cues, respond to the environment, learn new things, and navigate social dynamics. But for highly sensitive individuals, all this stimulation can sometimes feel overwhelming. You might have heard of highly sensitive people, HSPs. They tend to be extra sensitive to emotions, physical sensations, and social stimuli. So it's no wonder that bustling social scenarios like parties or concerts can quickly become overpowering for them. If you happen to be an HSP, you might find yourself avoiding social interactions just to give your mind a much-needed break. And that's totally okay. Here are 2 more videos you may find interesting. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and share the video with your friends, and for more interesting videos like this, subscribe to the channel.